Hello brothers and sisters, especially to my sisters out there, because this video is for you. And so I was like, everyone knows those books, you know, like How to Be a Proverbs 31 Woman. And so people think that the Proverbs 31 woman is the essential, the perfect, the most godly woman to be. And I used to think that too for a long time. It was either that or what the world thinks of Wonder Woman. I was like, okay, I could either be Wonder Woman or Proverbs 31 woman, and I didn't think that there was any other woman to be. So I was like, I was reading up on these books, How to Be a Proverbs 31 Woman, and as I was reading through the first few pages, it was like, step 1, clean your house, step 2, do this, step 3, step 4, and I was like, oh my goodness. And then I heard the Holy Spirit speaking to me. He was like, no, come talk to me. And so I was like, okay, I'm coming. And so I just went to Jesus' feet and listened. Just listen. And then he started speaking. He was like, no, remember, this is from the Old Testament. What did Jesus say in the New Testament? And I'm like, when was the time in the New Testament that he spoke to a woman about what she was doing and that it was right? And he was speaking to Mary of Bethany, okay? And so Mary of Bethany, she was sitting at Jesus' feet listening to every word that came from his mouth. That's all she was doing, you know? And then Martha, her sister, was being busy all over the house. She was most likely the Proverbs 31 woman everyone wanted to be, you know? She was doing everything. She was serving. She was taking care of everyone. She was keeping an organized house. She was like the Proverbs 31 woman. And Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet, not doing what Martha was doing, to the point where she was being yelled at by her own sister. She was being yelled at by her own sister, and her sister was like, okay, I'm just going to read it all to you. So in Luke 10:39, all right, she had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet listening to what he said. But Martha was distracted by all the preparations that had to be made. She came to Jesus, and asked, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. And Jesus said, Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you are worried and upset about many things. Come on, tell me that's what a lot of women go through. That's what I go through a lot. You are worried and upset about many things. But this is what he says. This is so cool. But few things are needed, or indeed, only one. Mary has chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from her. Basically, Mary was being persecuted by her own sister. Martha was like, Mary, stop doing what you're doing and come and help me. But she, instead of saying that to Mary, she was saying that to Jesus. Oh my goodness. But I think that's what a lot of people go through. Every time we do the right thing, the devil sends somebody to persecute us. So that moment when you're being persecuted for doing the right thing, that's when you know you gotta do more of that thing. If you do something that makes the devil mad, just do more of it. And so Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet, okay? And that was the right thing. So basically she was doing what Jesus saw as right. Remember, we don't want to do what's right in our own eyes. We want to do what's right in God's eyes, right? And here's the thing. Mary of Bethany also did 2 more things. The first thing, she did 3 things, okay? The first thing she did was sit at Jesus' feet and listen to every word that came from his mouth. The second thing she did, okay, let me go to the next page. All right, this is John 11:28. After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and is asking for you. Listen to this. This is what Mary did. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. So Mary of Bethany did this second awesome thing. even in her most deepest, darkest, hopeless time, when her brother Lazarus was dead and Jesus was who knows how many days away, and she was like, he's dead now, you know, there is no hope, there is nothing left, my brother is dead. She was in her darkest moment, guys. But that moment when she heard Jesus call her, she immediately, quickly got up to meet him. Yo, now that is a godly woman. Even in our darkest time, the moment you hear God's voice calling you to come see him, you immediately get up and go to him. Even when all else seems hopeless, you go to him. That's the second thing that Mary did that was super awesome. And the third thing she did, was in John 12, verse 3. Then Mary took about a pint of pure nard, an expensive perfume. She poured it on Jesus' feet and wiped his feet with her hair. Okay. So Mary, she took her most expensive treasured possession, okay? And I'm going to put a little fact thing down here about exactly how much that perfume cost. But it was expensive. Crazy expensive. She took the most expensive treasured thing she had. Did she pour it on Jesus' head? No, she poured it at his feet. Talk about godly woman. She took her most treasured, expensive possession and she just poured it out. She broke it and poured it out at Jesus' feet. She was like, this is my treasure, but you are my treasure. This is nothing compared to you. I'm going to break it and I'm going to just pour it at your feet. Yo, now that is the woman God's looking for. And so I'm just going to do a recap, okay? Mary did 3 awesome things. Mary of Bethany. First, she sat at the Lord's feet listening to every word that fell from his mouth. Second, even in her most darkest, hopeless, most saddest time, when she heard God's voice call her, she came to him. And third, she took her most expensive treasured possession, broke it, and poured it at Jesus' feet. And Jesus was so amazed at this that he said, wherever the gospel is preached, she will be remembered for what she has done for me. Oh my goodness. What? Now that is the woman that Jesus is looking for. Oh, come on, guys. Okay, and so people also think like, okay, now how about the Proverbs 31 woman? How about the cleaning the house, taking care of the family and all things? Are we supposed to set that aside? No way. The point is, we're supposed to do those things. But, okay, the Holy Spirit told me this, loud and clear. Jesus does not want us to do things for him. Jesus wants us to do things with him. I'm going to repeat that again in case you all missed it. Jesus does not want us to do things for him. He wants us to do things with him. So here's where the Proverbs 31 woman comes in. The true Proverbs 31. Not the one the world thinks of, but the one that God thinks of. So the Proverbs 31 woman, they said, is a woman who fears God. Basically, everything she does with God in mind, you know. So basically, everything she does with God, not for God. She does it with him. So when you place Jesus, and some people they're like, so am I supposed to put God first? And I'm like, no. You cannot put God first, second, or third. You cannot put God last. You cannot put God in the middle. You cannot put him anywhere. He's your everything. He's like the sun, you know. The sun, if the sun disappears for a second, we all be dead. We can't do anything without the sun. You know, if the sun were to disappear, it would be all darkness. We'd be dead. Nobody be breathing. There'd be no life. Why? Because the sun gives life to the world. The sun gives light to the world. And so think about how much more Jesus, who created the sun, how much more life does he give to us? How much more light does he give to our world? So basically, if God is your whole world, then everything that you do in His light, you do in His truth, and you do in His love. So whether it be doing the dishes, just like Paul says, do everything for the glory of God, whether it be eating or drinking a cup of water. So if we do everything with God, then surely we are doing the right thing. Okie doke, that's all I have for today, and thank you so much. Remember, women, let's be women of Bethany. Let's be Mary of Bethany. Alright, I hope this video has blessed you all. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.